In the 41st millennium, humanity stands on the brink of annihilation. The galaxy-spanning Imperium of man is beset on all sides by hostile aliens and threatened from within by traitors and heretics. It's an age of constant war, a new dark age in which enlightenment is replaced by superstition, rhetoric, and blind prayer. To live in such times is to be amongst untold billions, existing in the cruelest and also bloodiest regime imaginable. The most powerful and dreaded of the Imperium's defenders are the Space Marines, these bio-engineered superhuman warriors. They are humanity's last bastion against the terror, and now there is no time for peace, no respite, and no forgiveness. 200 years after the events of the first game, our story begins on an Imperial-held prestigious system, the planet Kadaku. The lush jungle planet is besieged by the Tyranids, an insect-like alien species from beyond the galaxy, driven solely by the instinct to devour all forms of organic life. The Flood, eat your heart out. Archmagos Nozick, Beta 12, calls for aid to defend the Death World, as it's essential they protect the Imperial's secret weapon, Project Aurora. Dimitri and Titus, our hero from the first game, arrives back with his Death Watch kill team to secure Kadaku and to also eliminate the Nid invaders. Their ship is ambushed in the sky, and the kill team heroically fights off the insects before being flung from 10,000 feet from the fucking sky. Dimitrian makes his way to the crash site, only to find that all his brothers in arms have unfortunately died.
We proceed as planned. Launch the virus bomb into the stratosphere, detonate it, and watch the Tyranids die.
He launches the bomb into the stratosphere, but is overwhelmed by a horde of Tyranids. Titus makes a desperate and valiant last stand, but is mortally wounded by an enormous monster. The Ultramarines arrive at the very last minute and save Titus as his consciousness fades into the darkness. When he wakes, Chaplain Quintus informs Titus that they performed the Rubicon surgery on him to save his life, and as a result, he is now transformed into a Primaris Marine.
Rubicon surgery has remade you as a Primaris Marine. You are now stronger, faster, and more resilient. You will take your place as an Ultramarine once more.
Titus wants to return to the Death Watch, but Quintus, he thinks he should return to his old chapter. After 100 years of penance for believing he disgraced his chapter, Titus will return to his brothers and seek the redemption that he so long desires.
What is your craft?
My craft is death.
What is your pledge?
My pledge is eternal service.
Titus reports to Captain Akaran, who has reservations about Titus' reinstatement, but nonetheless he gives him command of a squad as the lieutenant. His new squad mate Gadriel is surprised by Titus' promotion, but he reluctantly accepts his orders. They are commanded to return to Kadaku and assist the Cadians in retaking the orbital defense cannons. On the ground, the squad batters through a seemingly infinite swarm of Tyranids and retake the cannons, utilizing them to destroy a Tyranid hive ship. This buys the Cadians time to continue Kadaku's evacuation. Akaran then instructs Titus to evacuate Archmagos Nozick immediately, but Nozick refuses to leave until he can transfer important Project Aurora data from his research facility. On their way to the facility, they are hunted by Lictor, Predator style, baby. Titus absolutely tears the Lictor limb from limb, and the Ultramarines proceed clearing out Nozick's facility of those pesky vermin.
No one's better trained to rid your home of pests and keep them from coming back. Or again, keeping pests in their place.
Once the facility is clear and the data transfer is secure, they finally convince the Archmagos to get off planet.
Get to the chopper!
Nozik's Thunderhawk gunship is shot down mere seconds after takeoff, and the squad now has to trek into Tyranid-infested territory to save the Archmagos.
Major, did you see what happened?
No idea! We saw no.
We got a Black Hawk down, we got a Black Hawk down.
The squad is too late and find Nozick brutally impaled through the abdomen. While searching through the wreckage, they discover that the attack was perpetrated by the forces of chaos and not the Tyranids.
What in damnation happened down there?
Nozick was assassinated.
The Adeptus Mechanicus report said engine failure.
That's not what I saw.
Sergeant. Traitors.
Chaos.
You're sure?
No mistaking it, sir.
There's only one man who can finish Nozick's work, his apprentice, Morius Luz. He is missing, and Titus and crew are assigned to the job of finding and retrieving Luz on the hive world of Avarox. Inside Avarox, they battle their way into an Adeptus Mechanicus facility and access a computer that gives them Luz's location. Titus searches deeper and opens classified files on Project Aurora. To his complete dismay, Titus discovers Project Aurora is powered by the shard of Inquisitor Drogon's power source. He confronts Acheron about the foolishness in using such an unstable artifact, having witnessed himself its consequences firsthand on Graia centuries ago.
And what makes you suddenly an expert on Mechanicus research?
They're using an artifact to power the weapon. I've seen it before, on a planet named Graia. A traitor by the name of Nemroth called it a fragment of the Dark God's power that almost destroyed the planet.
They return to Avarox and are ambushed by the forces of 1,000 Suns, who are also hunting for Luz. They battle furiously through the traitorous forces, find Luz, and inform him he is to replace Archmagos Nozick and continue his work on Project Aurora.
Titus, report to Captain Acheron immediately on arrival.
Confirmed.
Titus. A Captain Titus was killed on the Forge world of Graia over a century ago. He died holding the power source in his hands.
Gadriel's mistrust of Titus deepens upon this revelation. Titus pleads to Acheron, suggesting they should contact Chapter Master Calgar before utilizing Project Aurora. Unfortunately, the astropathic relay is overrun by Tyranids, and they are unable to send out any telepathic messages. They hatch a plan to split their forces. His squad will fight their way to the relay, while another squad of Ultramarines eliminates the Hive Tyrant leading the Nid swarms. Facing nearly impossible odds at the astropathic relay, the squad nearly succumbs to the swarm before the insectoids suddenly collapse in a ghostly green haze. The other squad was successful in destroying the Hive Tyrant, and as a result, they save Titus and his squad. At the relay center, Titus meets astropath Neoma, who prepares to send the message to Calgar.
Heretic!
What is this? I do not know.
You wish to bring Calgar here that you may kill him! Heretic! Heretic! You will betray us as you betrayed them on Graia!
Lies.
Arrest him! He means to kill her!
Lieutenant!
Gadriel.
I am no heretic.
He seeks the power stone by himself! He must be stopped! How gracefully you dance!
Sorcerer Lord Imura reveals himself, and after an intense confrontation, Imura escapes. Acheron informs Titus that the forces of 1,000 Suns have entered the system and are attacking Demirium, the cemetery world where Project Aurora is located and where Luz is working to activate the weapon. The Ultramarines divert all their energy to the assault of Demirium and prepare to fend off the Chaos forces. Before departing, Titus finally reconciles with Gadriel.
I must apologize for my actions on Abrax.
Not necessary.
I fell prey to suspicion. Almost killed her.
Stand by for suborbital drop.
I'm honored to fight beside you both.
As are we, brother.
Brother!
Deep underground, the squad finds Luz, who reveals the true nature of Project Aurora.
Where is he?
With Aurora active, he and others like him cannot exist here.
We will see.
This is just the beginning. With these devices, we will seal the Great Rift and drive the heretics back into the warp with nothing more than the transference of alignment.
Imero returns, murders Luz, and ultimately steals the power source. Using the power sources, Imero creates a warp rift that allows him to bring hordes of his minions to Demirium. Chapter Master Calgar arrives in the nick of time and saves Titus and his squad from certain death. Calgar then gives the best speech ever, and we all run off into battle.
Brothers, the heretics clamor for a taste of victory, but we will defy them this day, as we have defied them for 10 millennia. We are the sons of Ultramar, servants to the Emperor and guardians of the Imperium. Let these wretches feel the wrath of ancient vengeance!
Imera lures Calgar into a trap,
It's a trap!
pulling him through a portal into the rift. The squad desperately follows the chapter master into the rift, free Calgar, and faces off against Imera and the Lord of Change.
Get up!
For your service, all the suffering of humanity, the Imperium Emperor. It's all for nothing!
When Titus regains consciousness, he finds himself back in real space, triumphant alongside the Ultramarines. The brutal battle is done, with the dedicated brothers save the day yet again. But the Space Marines are not heroes. They're much more. They are civilization's last standing vaccine that protects against otherwise certain death. Returning to the battle barge, Calgar commends Titus for his bravery and invites him on a new mission. Titus says his solemn farewells to Gadriel and Chiron, but is approached by Chaplain Quintus before he leaves.
The stain of suspicion never completely fades. I will be watching you, should you falter on the path for even a moment.
I will show no mercy.
Leandros.
What? Quintus was Leandros this whole time? That son of a...